Some days you just want to amplify your everyday look. Like when you want the look of false lashes without the extra effort, reach for Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Volumizer Mascara. Or when you want all eyes on your smile, keep Empower Gloss Ultra Glossy Lip Serum in your bag. It's a burst of 24-hour hydration that smooths like a serum, shines like a gloss, and can be worn sheer or layered. You'll always look and feel your best with Thrive Cosmetics. Plus, every product is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and made with clean, skin-loving ingredients that work with your skin, not against it. Amplify your everyday. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/shine26 for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/shine26.
This right here is Carco and Carne. Carco and Carne is a Q101 podcast. I'm James Van Oslo, and Carco and Carne is sponsored by Exploding House Printing. Exploding House Printing is here for all of your screen printing, embroidery, and other merch needs. They are local. They're over in Hermosa, and they handle things like t-shirts, merch, whatever you need. If you're a small business or brand, get the hookup. Call Jonathan at Exploding House. He's been doing this for decades, and he knows what he's doing. Besides technical expertise, he delivers production efficiency and cost awareness to offer boutique print shop quality at much lower large print shop prices. They're on Instagram at Exploding House, or you can check them out at explodinghouseprinting.com. Get a quote, see their list of clients. They are amazing. Thank you to Exploding House for sponsoring this podcast.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Oslo.
We are outside Cobra Lounge on a night off. I'm joined by members of both the Effigies and the Evictions. Saturday, 21st of February, it is the Effigies, the Bollweevils, and the Evictions on stage. That show is almost too big for one stage. Cobra Lounge, 235 North Ashland. I have in the car with me, if you're listening, you can't see them all. Let me tell you, I've got Paul and Steve and Andy from the Effigies. I've got Johnny from the Evictions. We are all coming together to talk about this show, also to eat Cobra Lounge pizza.
Yes.
I'm not sure what the priority is yet. We'll find out. But Cobra Lounge just released a new pizza menu, which looks amazing. Chef Jason came here on his night off. Like, this place is closed.
It's awesome.
He's right here.
What? Oh, my God, he's here. That was like a Candyman thing. I just said Chef Jason's name, and he just showed up at the window. Holy Christ.
How's that for service? What's
Hi,
up,
Chef
man?
Jason.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
I got some pizzas for you guys.
Nice. Yeah,
Thank you.
How do we roll this down?
Hang
on
on.
the back window.
Hang
There
on.
you go.
Yeah. Let's go back here. It looks like there might be a little bit more room.
Yeah, there's more room back there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I got a drag through the garden, and I got a Louie. So the drag through the garden is a Chicago-style hot dog pizza, and the Louie is hot giardiniera, calabrian chili oil, and pepperoni.
So with the drag through the garden pizza, which is a hot dog pizza, poppy seed.
Poppy seed crust, and then it's cooked with sport peppers, hot dogs, dill pickles on it, and onions, and then it's topped with tomatoes. When it comes out, it's got tomatoes, neon green relish, and mustard and celery salt.
I've got to think this is probably an early favorite on the menu just because it's so bonkers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone's trying it so far.
All right, we're going to eat your food, Chef Jason. We'll give you the report when we're done.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chef Jason from Cobra Lounge here on his night off.
Very nice. Very nice. You guys. How many of those are there?
We got.
There's plenty of those.
Oh, he's got the rest.
Pass another one back.
Yep.
1, 2. Okay.
James, here you go.
Oh, he brought plates.
Are we rolling here? Is that?
Oh, we never stopped.
Okay, great.
All right. I need to see. I need some camera on the pizzas here.
Yeah.
Can you spin that around?
I think I just spilled some on myself.
This is the Louie.
Okay.
This is the Louie. So this is the spicy one with the
New
calabrian.
logistical challenges in the backseat of the Subaru Crosstrek, but there we go. We got a little shot there.
Oh, that looks great. I got
That
it.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
Everything smells good.
Jason doesn't play around.
Jason does not play around. And again, it's just the kindness of coming in for you guys on the night
That was
off.
awesome. That's
Actually,
very
Cobra
cool.
can't be open the week that you guys are playing there. I mean, there's so much they need to reinforce
Right.
The walls, the floors. They just need to make sure the place is ready.
They're training the staff all week. It's like Super Bowl prep.
James, why don't you give me your plate?
Okay.
Thank
you.
JBO, you need
Yeah.
a slice of the.
Yeah.
This is the Louie, which I don't even remember what he said, but
I can tell you what he said. The Louie's pizza is pepperoni, giardiniera, and calabrian chili oil.
I can hold one of these.
So
Okay.
noses will run,
Throw a piece on there for him.
tears will fall.
This
as
has
we eat this.
giardiniera on it.
Hell yes.
It smells great.
And don't
that.
bust into the drag through the garden pizza till I
There's another one.
get a shot of it because that's
Nobody. I just had
Oh.
this in my hand.
You just throw
you
anything
want?
on there, whatever you got.
All right, there's the other one. You got it?
So this
Very
is the
good,
Louie.
thanks.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you it's mighty fine.
Is it?
Reviews are coming in? Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Good.
The timing is great. We get to eat, then we'll talk. Oh, hell yeah.
And there we go. Good go.
Oh,
It's quiet. It must be good.
Yep.
It's good. And the heat is not oppressive. Like you see the giardiniera on the ingredient list and the calabrian oil, you're like, okay, this is going to blow my face off.
Right.
The heat is like a very manageable,
no.
delicious.
It's not that hot, really.
He went with the mild.
The flavor is nice.
There's definitely heat there,
A little bit.
Yeah.
but it's not prohibitive. I was worried that we were all going to be craving beer in the car after eating this.
We are.
We are.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the pizza.
So the show is happening. I want to get into that. I want to talk effigy stuff. I do know, Johnny, the Evictions, we have you on borrowed time because you're doing a gig tonight as we're recording this. Evictions have been busy. You've got new songs.
Yeah, we recorded an album a while back and finally getting to finish mixes. So we're releasing a couple of those out leading up to this show. So those will be live on all the streaming servers, what have you, by the time the show goes off on Saturday. Just a couple of them, and then the rest of the album will be out full length probably this fall. So
And this is all, these songs are what I like about Evictions. Easy on the outside is like straight up power pop.
yeah, I mean, it's not hard to kind of pick out our influences, but we do kind of dip our toe into, each of our, a lot of bands that we like. And I mean, I don't want to just make like an album that sounds like, okay, these guys like AC/DC, here's 12 AC/DC-ish songs. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's too many things that we like and are inspired by to kind of stay in one lane. So, and the cool thing that we did with this record, usually we go in and we'll just knock out basically live in like 2 days in the studio and just kind of punk rock approach. This one, we sort of did the same thing, but then we're finishing it in Chicago. We went and recorded at the Ashton House in Ann Arbor, from where it's literally the house where the Stooges started the band.
Wow. Yeah.
So I've been friends with Kathy Ashton for years, and she finally turned the basement where they had their first jams with Iggy and all that stuff. She turned that into a studio, and so we went up there and spent a day and tracked all of our songs and hung out, and then we're finishing vocals and guitar dubs in Chicago. So
That's awesome.
Cool.
completely mind-blowing thing to try and focus on what you're doing standing in that in that room, and just the weight of the moment was incredible. Hopefully some of that kind of mojo rubbed off, but it was, wanted to do something different, and that definitely was different for what we're used to as a band. So
I saw
For the effigies in the car.
many years ago.
Yeah.
Band.
yep, Niagara.
So effigies,
Yeah.
I know that Stooges and Iggy were a generation before you, but I've got to think in the 80s there was some overlap and you met them or did something with them or at some point.
Well, we were fans of the Stooges. We were fans of the Dolls. We were fans of, like the Dead Boys and some of the early punk bands. We played with Lords of the New Church in Arizona.
Cool.
So we hung out and talked with Stip Baders, but as far as the Stooges, we never, met them or did anything, but we loved them. We loved their music.
For sure.
And we had the bootleg and all that. So I mean, we practice. We play some of their songs to when we first got together. We jammed some of their tunes. So,
Like what you?
It's never
what'd you
too
play?
late though.
we would play like
can
Raw
still,
Power and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
We can still play with them.
yeah.
Back
He
to
is still playing.
Back to the Evictions. These songs that you recorded at that iconic location. Spotlights. That's 4 on the floor from the jump, like right out of the gate. And I feel like you pushed your voice to the limit on that one too.
That's probably the thing that I worked the hardest on with this. Just for me, not being, I'm definitely in a, I would say, low level punk rock capabilities of vocals, but there's a certain awesomeness in having the time to really work on it without just being like, okay, we got 2 hours to do vocals, go, and then you're done. So I actually got to spend some time and tried to make kind of a bigger record, and there's a lot more guitar tracks on there and stuff like that. So,
On that note, We Will is one of those guitar tracks.
it is, yeah. But you can hear like there's Cheap Trick in there. There's old garage rock stuff like the Sonics or the Cynics, things like that. There's stuff that's more, we're fans of the Bronx, we're fans of metal, all that. But I really wanted to just have good hooks and catchy stuff, but still be abrasive and high energy and all the things we like about being a 3-piece and kind of letting the rhythm section go off. And Chris, I mean, you can't really put that guy in a box. You gotta just kind of turn him loose, and that's the more that we could get all that to come through on the record was that was kind of the goal. So
You guys keep getting better and better. And
thanks, man.
You described yourself as a low-level punk, which I don't buy. But if that were true, you are sitting in the car with high-level punks in the form of the Effigies. What was your awareness level of the Effigies coming up?
One of those things that's like the Chicago staple. Like there's a handful of bands that you just are like, these are the Chicago bands that have been here, and you kind of need, it's like Raygun. And when we first moved up here and started playing in bands, it was like, oh yeah, there's these, this handful of bands. Like Lucas was one of those guys, and Effigies was there, and all the people that we're still friends with now, like Herb and people that are just like a generation ahead of us that came up seeing all these shows. It's like that's just kind of ingrained into Chicago punk rock and all of that. So it's one of those like respect your elders and take notes kind of thing. Not saying you guys are old, but
It's awesome that that this kind of continued rock of Chicago, keeps going, and we love playing with all bands. We love meeting the new groups and stuff like that, So I mean, we're having a good time with it, and a lot of the bands we're playing with on the road, and we were watching these guys on video the other night, and they're amazing. They're an amazing band, and it's going to be a kick-ass show.
It is going to be a great show.
We're really excited for this show coming up.
And let's not forget the Bollweevils.
Yeah,
Let's not forget the Bollweevils.
Yeah, we're nervous about doing our thing before both of those bands, because
just have fun. Just have fun. It's going to be a blast for everybody.
Right, got to bring it.
Yeah.
Daryl from the Bollweevils, not a short man. I do worry about him on this stage.
Yeah, it's a weird stage too. There's some metal involved. There's lots of bricks.
I don't want him dinging a forehead.
It's a weird shape, There's like weird angles involved. It's going to be fun.
Pioneer's a weird word to use, Effigies, but you kind of were. I mean, you kind of were carving out this scene. I mean,
well, this is the weird thing about, I think, Chicago is kind of a music town. When the punk thing was happening, like in L.A. and in England, L.A. and in New York, Chicago was still kind of mired in blues and like,
can you reach in there?
And Midwestern rock kind of thing, kind of sound. And people were still listening, to like Led Zeppelin and all that on the radio, which was fine, but they never really adopted kind of the punk thing. So we came kind of like 5 years after those bands were established. So it's kind of like I'd say that Chicago was a very conservative town then. It's very progressive now, but then it was extremely conservative. And I think people kind of viewed it as flyover country when the bands came through. Some of the bigger punk bands did come through. The Ramones, we saw the Clash. You know, the Pistons tried playing.
A lot of people felt punk rock was a novelty that wasn't going to last.
That's right. You know,
So a lot of clubs didn't give us the respect we get today.
well, a lot of the clubs in the city weren't many. All the suburban rock clubs back then had like tribute bands or cover bands. You couldn't really play original music. So it was late to coming to Chicago. But when it hit Chicago, I think the Chicago punk sound, or the bands that come out of here, it's a very guitar-oriented, very heavy, really kind of, you know, masculine kind of heavy, you know, sound to it, you know. So so we definitely have our own sound. You know, California's got sound, New York has its sound, Chicago has its sound, which is great. I mean, Detroit has its sound. Detroit's a great music town too, and you know, that wasn't really looked at as a music town for a long time. But
Minneapolis actually had the best punk scene, I thought.
Well, Minneapolis had a great scene. You know, it was
Fucking nuts, dude.
It was the crowds were really fun in Minneapolis, and the clubs. You know, well, we played with Husker Du and hung out and stayed at their place when we went up there. So I mean, the crowds at the shows were, you know, pretty intense there too.
Since you were kind of in this Wild West carving out a scene in the 80s, was it congenial with bands? Like, were you in lockstep with Ray Gun, Strike Under, etc., or was there healthy?
No, everybody was. There was a lot of camaraderie in the U.S. bands. The English bands, on the other hand, were not. They treated everybody like shit.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we had. I mean, we were. There was rivalry in the sense that everyone wanted to blow each other off the stage. You know,
right. That's healthy, though.
Exactly. But I mean, and there's some, you know, there's some controversy at some point, you know, between certain members of our band and another band in this town. I think that was more kind of a political thing between both of those guys. But you know, we always got along with each other, but we always wanted to, you know, kind of one up each other too. That was kind of the thing. But I think that's in any scene. You know?
Well, you'd come to towns, and there would always be one band in that town that was going to help you out in that town, put you up, make sure, you know, set up the gig.
Well, so I see old flyers for you guys, and it's like Naked Raygun, Effigies, and Strike Under, all three supporting like Black Flag or whoever was coming through town. You know? So it seems like, you know, there was that kind of. Those were kind of the core bands, I think, right?
Those were
Wax Trax put out the Strike Under record. That was kind of the first.
Right.
Strike
Chicago
Under really
punk.
was
the first punk.
They came out right like weeks apart, but they could have gone a lot farther than they did. It's a shame.
There were bands before us that were part of what I would call the Le Vipère club scene, and that was, you know, Skafish and a couple other bands that played before us. But they were kind of more. It wasn't really kind of like a hard rock kind of hard punk kind of sound. It was more new wavy or whatever.
Special Effects. I think it was
right.
Jorgensen.
Right. So there was like, I would classify them as new wave bands more than let's say punk bands.
Skafish had a look.
Yeah, he did, and then he had a great backup band too.
One of my favorite shows is when we played with Skafish out in middle of nowhere, on the southeast side.
Yeah. But he was great. He would antagonize the crowd. I mean, people didn't understand him.
He told us that in England, people thought it was Scarfish, and a bunch of skinheads showed up.
Oh, I could see that.
Totally.
They were a little disappointed.
Yeah.
But the Chicago scene, it was pretty. I think kind of a collectivist effort, and because there was really only a couple places to play. There was like Oz and O'Banion's, and then Exit opened up after that. So it was like we helped each other. We do T-shirts. One guy put on, Jeff from Naked Raygun would put on the PA, and it was kind of a collective effort.
The famous Jeff Pizzotti PA, which
Jeff Pizzotti of Naked Raygun.
He did sound for our first gig ever. It's his PA.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Johnny. Fast forwarding to later generations, what's your sense of camaraderie, competition? Has that stayed true in Chicago?
Yeah, absolutely. And when I joined the Vegas and we started touring and all that, this was 2001, and there was a heavy network of heavy touring bands, and you relied upon, like you said, in every town there was a band that you were cool with, and that's what got you around the country. And I mean, we did over 100 shows a year for almost a decade in the Vegas, and it was, no cell phones, no GPS. It was just, okay, I'm going to call so-and-so in this town, and he's going to put a show together, and you show up, and hopefully it works, and then you go to the next town. And I mean, we'd go out for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, multiple times a year, and it was all, those are our friends, and I'm still friends with those guys in a lot of these towns. And that was just, you learned that you have to be cool with the other bands, otherwise you don't get to go back to that town and do what you want to do.
That's right.
And everybody got it. And so it wasn't even just a Chicago understanding, which obviously that existed because those bands took us in when we were a young band, but you learn that that's just kind of how all this survives in a kind of a living organism of rock and roll, touring, networking, putting out split singles, whatever it was, you relied on each other. And that's the only way that you could have decent shows on tour. You needed those cool local bands that were like, hey, these guys are great, they're playing here with us, you should come see them, and I don't know how much that mentality still exists with younger bands, because it's a lot easier to just be social apping people or whatever, but hopefully
These kids and their cell phones,
yeah, well, I mean,
screenagers.
if things went south, you could be in a town halfway across the country and have nowhere to stay, no money, no gas, nowhere to go, no food. So that was like, sit back and take notice from bands in Chicago that had already been doing this and kind of learn the ropes, And we came up knowing that like Chicago kind of post-punk, punk scene was like kind of the backbone of the music scene of, things like kind of a unique thing in Chicago that, like he said, everybody kind of had their own flavor, but if you went to Minneapolis, it was a little different. If you went to LA, it was very different.
Right.
Chicago had this like blue collar punk rock thing where these guys are in a band, but also they would definitely kick your ass, and they probably have some labor skills, and like these are not these are not
union guys on stage.
Yeah,
Come
like
on.
this is hardworking blue collar punk rock, and
Some labor skills.
First, when we started out, the guys from the Loop, the Loop T-shirts, they hated the punk rockers, and we used to have a lot of problems with the Van Halen crowd, and then eventually it all mixed in together.
Right.
Oh, well.
Right.
yeah.
Then they realized,
like
hey,
metal
this stuff
and
does
punk.
rock.
Well, I think that's the cool thing about now, anyways. That back then it was very like you stayed within your tribe.
Niche.
That was it. You were either a punk or a metalhead or a punk or a rocker or whatever. And now, I mean, people have crossed over and they like all kinds of music. So you get all kinds of people.
Yeah, rap was so smart to cross over.
Yeah.
And bring that audience.
But that's the way it
to
should
them.
be. I mean, it's either you like good music, you like good music no matter what the music is, So.
Yeah, I don't know anyone, and it's certainly myself included, that listens to one type of music only.
Right.
If you were to look at a playlist on my phone right now, it would be the most harrowing schizophrenic journey you've ever taken.
Sure.
Miles Davis said there's two kinds of music, good and bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Even if it's not my favorite thing, if they bring it live, I can sit and appreciate a show.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And now that we're talking about this, you guys did tour with the Black Crowes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's funny you bring that up. I was thinking that because we were so nervous about opening up for them, that their crowd was going to turn on us.
I was going to say, it seems like there's a little risk factor. Maybe they were too high to turn on you.
No,
they
it was
loved it.
7 o'clock cold, man, with hard rock.
Yeah.
But they loved us. Their crowds loved us.
And
That's
they were
awesome.
loud. They
It was
were,
so
like,
encouraging
screaming.
for us because it was our first shows with Jeff. And
And they were a very gracious group of guys. Chris was really cool. He made us felt welcome as soon as we got there. He came into the red dressing room. He was talking with us about music, and we were talking all night with him about music and different things. So I mean, he was into it. I think he's the captain of that ship.
Yeah.
So he said, okay. I think on his different tours, he tries to expose his crowd, their crowd, to different genres of music. He's very open about that.
Right.
So,
and he was.
Yeah.
Those guys were great. That was one of the best.
They were really
I've had
really
yet.
nice people. I mean, just kind.
This makes me happy to hear.
An incredible band like they're playing with.
And live,
Oh, yeah.
they're amazing.
Everybody from the the stage techs to the wardrobe lady were so nice to us, and
Yeah, I saw them a couple times in the past few years. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
And the catering.
And those fuckers could play.
Food was good.
I was at Estelle's one night at like 3 a.m, and I turned around, and he was standing next to me having a beer, and he just said, "Hey," I was like,
Nice.
"Okay, hi, hey, great," and he was just regular dude having a beer, closing out Estelle's.
That's
He likes to
awesome.
talk.
Only in Chicago.
I think
we were
bandmates
fresh
were
meat.
happy that we were.
Yeah, we were like fresh meat, so Chris
Yeah.
could put all his
You
stories.
could hear all his stories for the
our
first time,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He had a new audience. So.
I think we need to look at the pizza before we continue.
Yes.
talking.
Okay, so
We got the drag through the garden pizza.
we're ready to dive into the other one, but maybe
Yeah.
we can get rid of one of these boxes out the window or something.
Give me that.
the window.
There, he's got.
You just
got
stack
it?
it.
Give it a make the rats happy. There you go. There you go, Cobra rats. Okay,
He doesn't mean
is
that.
the
There are no rats by
unveiling.
Cobra Lounge.
A hot dog pizza. This is the first.
I'm like,
Drag through the garden. This is legit. This is on
I
a
got it
poppy
backwards
seed
on
crust.
it's a poppy seed crust.
Yeah, it is exactly what you think it is. It is literally a
Okay.
hot dog pizza.
Okay, here we go.
Holy
Wow, it's got
smokes,
the,
dude! I see the relish.
The nuclear relish.
Wow.
Oh, you got to have the neon relish if you're going to do
Holy
this.
cow, man. Okay.
Now, Jason famously or infamously created a hot dog soup here at Cobra
Now we can
Lounge.
see
Oh,
it.
really?
That's much
So
better.
this
Okay.
is a clear evolution.
We got we got everything on.
We
here.
got everything.
Well, we got sliced pickles,
Right, you got
tomato.
There's celery salt on there.
There's so I'm assuming this is hot dogs.
Sliced hot
Yes.
dogs.
Oh yeah.
There's no ketchup.
No,
No
exactly
ketchup.
right.
They
That's
said
exactly
put
right.
some mustard
crust.
on it.
Yeah, it's all in here. I don't see onions, but I would assume there'd be.
Oh yeah, I think they're there.
They're in here somewhere. So
I've been looking forward to this pizza. I've been looking
It's a
forward
hot
to
dog
seeing you guys
pizza.
say.
It's just like a
But
hot
I've been looking
dog.
forward to this pizza too.
Cool.
you got a plate
yeah.
up there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I got. All right, a couple of those.
There you go.
Oh my gosh,
I know. I'm behind here.
it smells like a hot dog.
One out here.
There you go. That's that. I would be annihilating this, but I have to go yell for like 40 minutes.
It heats up well.
I know. Yeah, this is gonna be wonderful in my car.
It's hard. It's hard to rock on a full stomach.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just a small one, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a
That is delightful.
little change of pace.
Oh,
huh?
there is
Thank
mustard
you.
on here.
Thank you.
There's mustard on there. Yeah,
Flash of mustard.
this is delightful.
It is.
It tastes like a hot dog.
I've had Italian beef pizza with giardiniera on, and that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. That kind of,
I love that.
falls under the umbrella of, Italian pizza, but this is
Sport peppers, mustard.
Yeah.
This should become a thing. This should become.
This is a first. Is this like his first launch
don't
of
know.
this pizza?
But like I said, he did the hot dog soup, so this just feels like
Hot dog soup. All right.
this is the
This
natural.
definitely works.
This is delicious.
Tastes like a hot dog with everything.
Yeah.
This is literally delicious. I'm sorry, I'm stunned into silence here.
Yeah.
All right, so tour with the crows aside, how's it felt over the past year plus being back?
It's been a great year.
It's been great.
And mostly because of Jeff Sabin, our singer, was filling some big shoes. But Jeff just brings so much energy and enthusiasm that it's like starting all over again.
Yeah.
That first
I mean,
feeling we
we're-
had when we started.
We're having. I'm having the time of my life now, really, with this. I mean,
We got to play England finally.
Awesome.
we're writing new music right now.
Excellent.
I mean, we just had the Fly on the Wire re-release. We had it remastered, so it sounds like it should. Andy did some work on that too, and we're in the studio now writing a new album. So we've got five songs down, and we've got a full album's worth of material, but we're slowly recording it at this point.
I'd imagine that John comes up almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, it comes up, and I dream about the guy. I do miss him dearly, and
He's still like that conscious and telling you stuff in your head.
Right.
'Cause
And
you'd have to know them.
but it's been kind of rough, but we're looking toward the future.
Yeah.
And I think that the best the best thing in honoring his memory is to keep the band keep the band going.
For sure.
And write new material and just show that it doesn't matter what kind of obstacles you have in front of you, what kind of tragedies you have. Music is a cure for a lot of things. It's a cure for mental health. It's a cure for, it gives you happiness and joy. I mean, it's the greatest thing, really. I think of all the arts, music is the highest form of that art. That form of.
That relationship that musicians have with the audience, like getting that close
right.
to the people who consume your art. I mean,
right.
I can't imagine what that feels like to be able to do that and reconnect or make that connection again.
Yeah, it's like a metaphysical thing. You can't really explain it, but you know it when it's clicking, when it happens. You kind of.
We spend probably 95% of our career playing in small clubs, so
right.
we're right there.
Right.
So when we play these big shows like Riot Fest and I'm never as happy. It's great to be playing in front of these big crowds, but it's not the same energy to me. It's being,
right.
hands.
Well, what I like about it is it's the time when everyone, like, time stands still for when you're playing with the crowd. When I'm watching a band that I love, or I'm playing, it's time stands still. It's like that. It's like you're in the realm of being. It's like
you forget all the bullshit.
That's right. All the bullshit's gone. You're just in that moment, and that it'd be nice if we could learn to live our lives, like that in other ways. But music helps do with that. And that's why I think music is great. I mean, I love playing it.
You mentioned writing new songs. Do we hear new songs at Cobra Lounge, or are those?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yet another reason to come to Cobra Lounge. Happening Saturday the 21st, Effigies, Bollweevils, Evictions. Johnny, the Evictions, we mentioned those 3 new songs. Will they find their way into the set?
Oh, yeah. Most of our set is new music
really?
at this
Okay.
point. Yeah, we've been sitting on this kind of for a while, and it was just a matter of figuring out, all right, how do we do this? Do we do like an EP? Do we just do a split? And we finally just said, you know what, we got this opportunity. We got, I don't think, 8 or 9 songs. Let's just go get it all out, track everything, and then we'll finish it up and figure it out later. So now we're in the figure it out later thing, but we got a good chunk of it done. And 3 of them are out, so listen to those, enjoy, and then hopefully, like I said, we'll have the whole album released proper this fall. So
I talk about this topic a lot, and I think this is a good group to bring the topic up with. We've got a couple generations represented here. We've got an actual music producer here. In the present day, does it make more sense to do that slow drip of songs or a full album? I mean, back when Effigies were starting or peaking in the 80s, whatever, the album was the way you release music.
Correct.
In the present day, in a digital world, it's not necessarily a priority. I think there's an argument to be made on both sides. And Andy, you've made or helped produce music for countless bands. Where do you all sit on this in 2026?
I mean, I've always been more involved in the making music as opposed to the selling music. But I do think there's a new sort of way that people experience and partake in music that isn't the way that necessarily we grew up thinking about it, And truth be told, like, the LP wasn't a thing before, like, the late 60s anyway. Like, you'd put out singles, and then if you had enough of them, you eventually put out a compilation record, and that's all it was. Nobody really put that much thought into, like, an album. Like, it was a collection of singles, and then, that was a thing, that was the norm for, the rest of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then, like, in the 2000s, when, all the Napsters and file sharing, and people, like, stopped sort of thinking of music as a physical product, like, that also, I think, encouraged a different way of listening, and people a different way of consuming that the kids do. Like, they don't think of albums per se. They definitely think of singles. So as an old fart, to me, like, the album is like a statement. It's like a painting or something. It's like you don't just paint a little corner and see if everybody likes that one person in that corner. Like, to me, you got to have the full picture. But that doesn't mean I'm right by any means. And I think you can kind of do both too. Like, I know that we've been encouraged by people around us to kind of, the steady drip feed is kind of the thing to do, I guess, these
Right.
days.
Well, you got to look at the medium too. I mean, it's the internet. So I mean, people are getting bombarded immediately all the time with information. So I think sending out songs every month or whatever, or drip feeding it into the system, is probably the smart way to do it now, so that you're constantly being seen, or you're constantly being heard.
It's that algorithm you got to feed the
right. So I mean, but putting out an album, like Andy was saying, it's like a work of art. It's like a whole package. It's a whole piece.
A statement.
It's a whole statement, exactly.
Well,
So
yeah.
Also, if you're touring and you've got merch, then like an album makes a lot of sense. You want to have something physical that you can sell at the show that the audience can take home with them and enjoy. But that doesn't mean that they haven't already like streamed it all, one at
Right.
a time. So, I think it's a dance, it's a delicate dance.
And Johnny, you've played kind of both ends of it.
Yeah, and I think to a certain extent too, it's kind of almost a matter of like just time and economics also. Because if you're going to go through the effort of like getting something pressed, getting plates, the whole thing of doing that and putting the money into it, it's like, well, is it better to do this huge thing and put out 4 songs on like a little EP, or should we just write some more stuff and make the big effort to have, like you said, a cooler merch item, that kind of thing. But we've done both. We've put out EPs. We've got a split out that we put out with a band. Yeah. We've got a full length. We're about to put out our second full length. I don't really know either, because it's like I kind of see both sides of what bands do and what bands did, even punk rock bands in the 80s. But recently, because I'll just look at, okay, well, what are big bands that I like doing? And it's like, okay, well, they'll put out a single, and then a couple weeks later they'll put out another single. They'll do like maybe 3 singles, and then they drop the full album. But by then, everybody's kind of made the big, social media hoopla over new material.
Right.
So that kind of serves the purpose as just getting people excited.
Mm-hmm.
There's new stuff on the way. They listen to the hit singles that got dropped first, and then when the album's out, who knows? Then you can listen to the rest of it. But
Right.
for the purpose of getting people excited about something your band's putting out, it's just basically digital marketing tools.
I think that if you're going to be a band that's going to be plans on being around for a while, that you should do LPs, 1 LP a year or whatever, because it shows you not only the progression of the band, but you've got a certain feel for that time in each moment.
They're snapshots.
Yeah, the snapshots of the band, and you excuse me, and what times, what dates those were made, so you associate it with what was happening during that time. So you get this kind of continuum, this history, and I think that's what's cool. Mm-hmm. It's like an author writing a series of books, over time. You're building up your art over your career, and at the end of it, hopefully you're proud of what you've done, and you can say, I've created something, that's out there, and it will never really go away, especially in the digital age. It's always going to be out there somewhere,
So new music from both Effigies and Evictions on stage at Cobra Lounge Saturday the 21st. The mighty Bollweevils also on stage. What a bill this is. Cobra Lounge Saturday night, 235 North Ashland. The place, great room, great punk rock room. And if you want to come early and order some pizza, you wouldn't be wrong to do it, because these pizzas are
very good.
Are fabulous. It's like a hot dog, but a pizza.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think they've had anything here over the years that has not been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Having been here when they opened and up till now, everything's,
Jason's a treasure. I do want to thank. I messaged Louie, the owner, saying, do you mind if I camp out in your parking lot and record an interview with a couple of the bands that are playing your room? He's like, no, I think Jason's here. He can make some pizzas for you guys. So I want to thank Louie for being hospitable and wonderful as always, for helping facilitate this DIY podcast. Yep. Guys, thank you for jumping in the car. It's a Monday night. It's kind of a quiet night for everyone except for the Evictions. Thanks for doing this. I'm glad we could all come together.
Thank you. It was very enjoyable. We had a good time.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, man.
And we'll see you on stage at Cobra.
Thank you.